Hello, good morning everyone. Very warm welcome to BabyCode free TOEFL sessions. I am Tanu Vermani, an IDP certified trainer and a TOEFL certified trainer. I am back with my live session number 9 for the listening module and reading part. We have covered all the sessions, all the types of questions. Now we are covering up part 2, that is listening module. The first type of question, just content and just purpose questions, we have already done. Now we are doing detailed questions. Now, what are detailed questions? Very first thing is, students who are new to watch this session, please go back to the remaining sessions like we have already covered. Do watch those sessions so that you will be on track with me, right? So detailed questions. What are detailed questions? Detailed questions are probably the most straightforward questions of the listening sections, and they ask you to remember facts about the lecture, the specific facts about conversation. So detailed questions are majorly about specific facts which you need to locate while listening to your conversation. Now you can recognize detailed questions because they have phrases like according to, what is in the question. So you have to remember these phrases according to, what is in the question. They will ask you about an important conceptual detail also. You won't be expected any kind of a memorized travel details like anything something or which happened in 1977 or 78, right? The answer to a detailed question, they will always be explicitly stated in your listening conversation or lecture. So always look for phrases like according to or what is. These detailed questions, they are equivalent to the factual questions which we have already done in reading section because they also deal with specific facts, right? So this detailed question, they deal with specific facts from the listening part, but they are not usually as specific as detailed questions in the reading part, because here you do not have an option of listening to the recording second time. You will be hearing only once. So you will depend on the information that you are going to write in your notes. Notes making is a very important strategy here. So they deal with main idea of the recording. What is the main idea behind that conversation, behind that lecture? So make sure whenever you mark your final answer, just go back to the main idea of the recording again and make sure that your answer choice should consider that main idea, right? So as you choose your answer choices, be careful that you do not fall into the trap of distractors, right? Distractors are those answer choice that have the keywords but the meaning is different, but they are not correct, right? So they may directly contradict the information in the passage, right? Detailed question is often asked following a lecture, sometimes asked following a conversation also. Second thing is that question, they ask why a minor detail is mentioned in the talk. This detail is often an example provided in the lecture. Now, this question can be difficult also because you can be asked any details about the listening, even the minor ones also. So it can be tough to remember, write every small details while you're listening. But with enough practice, your memory will be improved and you will able to improve your ability to hear. Note down each and every detail effectively. You will need to listen for specific detail. You will find some details about like lecture, asking about the lecture, but sometimes they ask about a conversation also. So you will hear out all the specific details here, right? We'll be doing one exercise based on this and then it will be more clear to you. So let's listen to this recording. I'm sharing my screen and you will be able to see. Yes, now listen to it carefully.
Listen to a conversation between a student and an administrator at the university's finance office.
Hi there. Can I help you?
I really hope you can. I'm worried I'm just really worried I'm going to be in trouble.
Oh, well, don't panic. Just relax. I'm sure we can deal with whatever's going on. What's the issue?
Well, I've received two separate statements about my tuition payments in the last week, and they seem to. It looks like they kind of contradict each other.
Uh-huh.
I've been a student here for 2 years, and I've never gotten any notice like this before. The language seems a little threatening, and I'm afraid that if I don't figure this out, I'll be kicked out of classes or something.
I can assure you that nobody's going to kick you out of class. We'll sort it out. Now, did you bring the letters with you?
Yep, I have them right here. The first one is similar to the reminder I get every month to make a payment, but
Here, let me see.
it has some extra language out of the norm there at the bottom. It says something about penalty payments.
All right. And did you miss any payments that you know of?
No, I've never missed one.
That's strange. And what about the second notice you received?
That one says it's the final warning to make a payment, or else my enrollment will be canceled. That doesn't make any sense because it's the first warning I ever got.
Okay, are you sure these are the only two notices you got in the mail from us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, then, it certainly seems like there's been an error, because if the statement were accurate, you would have received additional notices from us. Let me just look up your account in our database and see what the problem is.
Thank you so much. I'm just a little stressed out that something will go wrong with my classes.
Oh, sure. Just a moment while I... Huh, here we go. I think I found the problem. Did you make your last payment during a school holiday?
Sure, I think I did. I guess I made the payment during spring break. Is that a problem?
Well, you didn't do anything wrong, but it looks like there was an error in our system. The computer is supposed to automatically process payments when the offices are closed, but for some reason, your payment never went all the way through. It's still pending approval.
So why did I get only a final warning notice?
Well, I'm not completely sure, to be honest. We were coming back from a holiday, so there may have been some confusion.
Well then, what do I have to do to fix this?
Nothing at all. I'm approving the payment now and noting on your account that the error was ours. Just make your next payment on time and you won't have any more problems.
Wonderful. Thanks for taking care of this. That's a huge relief.
So as you have heard this audio, you have to answer this question that what problem does the student have? And you have four options. So while listening to the audio, it's required that you can make your notes. The first one is that he received another student's tuition statement. Second is he received a notice that his payment was late. Third one is he forgot to pay tuition during a holiday week. And the fourth one is he has been barred from attending classes. So what do you think? What problem does the student have? He talked about that, yes, he did make the payment was not acceptable, right? There was some issues going on regarding the payment. So he forgot to pay the tuition during a holiday week. He received a notice that his payment was late. So the correct option was that he received a notice that his payment was late, right? You can see the explanation part also for better clarification. See. So for questions like this, you need to remember, like you should consider from the beginning. Why did student go to the office? He doesn't say this specifically. He only says that he's afraid that he'll be in trouble. But then he gives more detail. He says that I have received two separate statements about my tuition payments in the last week, and they look like contradicting each other. Now we know that student problem is only about payments. The actual problem is not clear. So then again, the two statements, warnings about paying his tuition fee. So that is why B is the correct option, right? So when you listen to the entire conversation carefully and you focus on the specific detail, then you will get your answer very quickly. Now let's do question number 2. Again, I'm going to play a recording for you.
If you recall, I had said that at some point during this semester, I wanted you to attend an exhibit at the Ferry Street Gallery and subsequently write a paper about it. The exhibit is on currently and will be at the gallery for the next month, so I want to give you the details of this next assignment. The exhibiting artist's name is Rose Franson. She's a pretty young artist, so you might not have heard of her before. Her style, which she calls realistic impressionism, is rather unusual and different in comparison to the styles we've studied so far. You should have studied both the realism and impressionism movements separately in art history, so can someone please summarize each of these styles?
Surfacing in the late 19th century, the Impressionism movement differs greatly from the styles that preceded it, in that the subjects and scenes don't reflect a fully realistic or exact model of real life. Painters of the Impressionist style generally created works on canvas that had rough textures by using thick paint and large brush strokes.
Okay, and what did the subject matter consist of?
Impressionist artists opted to paint scenes depicting everyday life, such as people living, walking, sitting in the cafe, and nature scenes, particularly landscapes.
Right. So when you go to the exhibit, you'll see a painting as soon as you enter, and I ask that you examine it closely. It really emphasizes the Impressionist side of Franzen's style, with the broad brushstrokes and blurry lines depicting an everyday outdoor scene. With the sky painted pinkish yellow and the fence blue, the colors are kind of unrealistic. You're left with an impression of a chilly, bleak winter's day on a farm. Also, an interesting note about Franson, she lived abroad for a while, and when she moved back to Iowa, she would frequent the sales barn, a place where local farmers sold their cattle and farm animals, among other places like dance halls and the like, to watch how people moved, stood still, and what their different postures looked like. She did this because it helped her understand how bodies move, so she could be a better artist.
So now you have listened to this audio carefully. I want you to complete this question. This, what does the professor point out about that scene painting? That it looks like a photograph, it might be well-known painting, or Fredson painted it in the Impressionist style, or it painted it while she was living abroad. So look for the specific details. So while he was explaining, he explained that it was in the very Impressionist style. So look for the keywords. What tips I'm going to provide you for your, like how you can practice your TOEFL listening is that create a schedule for yourself, that yes, day 1 will be for this type of question, day 2 will be for this. Make your eyes your enemy. You have to listen carefully, right? Active listening you have to devote. You should have your concentration. Become a note taking pro, that whenever you're listening to the audio, start making your notes. Memorize the question type, that what are the phrases used for just content, what are the phrases used for detailed question. Memorize the question type. Understand the passage structure like a professor. Now how the professor knows about the structure, that yes, this is first, this is second, so understand the structure like that. Focus on vocabulary less and focus on story more, right? Be an active listener. Listen to the audio conversation very carefully. Think like a North American teacher. North American teacher, why? Because they keeps on asking, why was the information provided, why did it happen, and what is going to be the next part. So think like that. Track your own study progress. That means do your own evaluation, that how much you have understood in the section 1, how much you have covered in the week 1. Now practice for the second week, and don't panic at all. We have covered this. Now it's your part of job that you have to practice. So go to the BabyCode application, YouTube, watch our live sessions. You can even practice through our application. Do the star rating so that I can know that yes, you people are learning. Shape your destiny. Keep learning, keep practicing, as I always say, and start practicing for the reading and listening module. Okay, stay tuned and join us to being the first one. Follow us and download our application, right? Thank you so much for joining our live session. Bye bye. Take care.